Hey guys, MarvelFan45 here, and today we'll also be reviewing The Godfather Parts 1 and 2, because some more votes came in, and it appears The Godfather actually won, just some people didn't have the time to vote. But right now, I wanted to do a re-review of Dogville, because my opinion on this film has gone up since the last time I saw it, which was recently this week. But yeah, now it's in my favorite films of all time, now that I've seen it 3 times. But yeah, let's get into the re-review. So Dogville was released in 2003 and stars Nicole Kidman and Paul Bettany, I think is how you pronounce his name. I probably just butchered it. And the story is, I'm gonna try and be as vague as possible. A guy named Tom, who lives in a small town named Dogville, finds a girl named Grace and welcomes her into the town. That's it. That's all I can say. But yeah, before I even start the review, this is essential viewing if you are a hardcore cinephile. This is just required viewing. This is up there with There Will Be Blood and Mulholland Drive in terms of essential viewing, in my opinion, because this film really has to be witnessed. I mean, I'm so sad I don't own it, but I'm gonna pick it up eventually, probably sometime next year. But so the acting. Nicole Kidman is the real standout. She's the main character. She plays Grace. And she gives a powerhouse performance, especially in the ending. The ending is where she really has to show some emotion. But yeah, her acting is amazing. Then the guy who played every single member of the town, because it's a small town, not a lot of people live there, is perfect in their roles. Their acting is all amazing. Nicole Kidman is just the standout. But yeah, the acting's great. I also forgot to mention it was directed by Lars von Trier, my favorite director of all time. But yeah, the direction. So I forgot to mention this film is completely filmed on a soundstage. You don't see, basically, there aren't any sets. It's just the soundstage you'd put a set on. You have to see it to get what I mean, but it's filmed on a soundstage, so there's no house sets. It's just chalk lined out houses. And it works. This is a crazy concept to somehow pull off. But Von Trier did it, and he succeeded amazingly. I mean, the fact that it's on a soundstage and it works is insane. But yeah, the direction. That opening shot is amazing, and how it contrasts to the ending shot is absolutely amazing as well. The shots of the mine are all amazing as well. The shots of the cars, the shot at the dinner, all the shots are literally perfect. I mean, they're all done to perfection. You have to get used to Sorry, there's a dog barking. You have to get used to Von Trier's style before you watch this film, though. Otherwise, you aren't going to be ready for it. You'll be confused by some specific aspects of how he does his camera work. He cuts, but not a lot. You have to watch more of his films, basically, before you get to this one. I would say start with The House that Jack Built if you're starting with Von Trier. That should give you an idea of what you're in for. But yeah, the acting and the direction is amazing. In the script, oh my gosh. So Von Trier's writing is amazing. He writes, I believe he's wrote every single one of his films. And in this one especially, I mean, the writing is just amazing. I mean, I was so entertained throughout the whole movie. I mean, this movie isn't for everyone. It's 3 hour. It's sort of like 2001: A Space Odyssey, except for not at all. You can't compare 2001: A Space Odyssey to Dogville. There is no comparison. 2001 is just superior. But I mean in the sense that 2001 is long and artsy. But like this film is also long and artsy. And it has tons of philosophical discussions. It's mainly a big metaphor. I mean, it's not for everyone basically. But yeah, I wouldn't compare it to 2001. But it is 3 hours artsy and slow. But like, yeah, I talked about this when we were talking about slow burn movies. This is one of, I wouldn't say it's the greatest, but it is up there in terms of amazing slow burns. It's not like There Will Be Blood level of a slow burn, even though I do slightly prefer Dogville to There Will Be Blood. As amazing as There Will Be Blood is, I can just watch Dogville more often. But yeah, the script, it's amazing. I mean, it starts you off at a specific time, then it just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds until the ultimate conclusion to the film, which is one of my favorite conclusions to any film. I mean, it's not, well, it easily is. I mean, this film is in my favorite films of all time right now. It's in my top 15, I believe. It just beat out 2 movies, and now I believe it's up in the number 13 spot. But yeah, this film, its script is one of the... Oh, I completely forgot to mention the score. The score is amazing. It makes you feel like you're in the sort of storybook area, which is what the plot wants it to feel like, because the score alone adds a layer to the film. Because if you think about the score, that really helps with the metaphor, the way Von Trier decided to have the score be done. There's lots to look into with this film, basically. But yeah, there's this amazing, I believe it's like 15, 20-minute long conversation in the ending that is... There's so much to interpret there and dissect. I mean, you could talk about that last conversation alone and what it actually means for hours. I mean, this film is a complete masterpiece. I didn't see a flaw in it when I watched it. I could see flaws for people who just have movie watching as a hobby. They may not like this, but what Von Trier does is just genius. And then how disturbing it gets in the second and third acts. Well, no, specifically second act. Well, a bit of both, actually. It's hard to say. I believe the most disturbing bits would be chapters 4 through 8. Yeah. Because the movie is told in chapters. It's told in 9 chapters and a prologue. It's essential viewing for any hardcore cinephile. It's in my favorite films of all time. It's actually rising up now. I mean, I cannot wait to watch it in 4K because it's going to look beautiful. But Dogville is just... It's must see if you're a hardcore cinephile. If movie watching is only a hobby, or like, let's see, or if you don't like artsy movies, this film is pretty inaccessible. if you want to get into Von Trier, if you want to start with him, I would say go The House that Jack Built. That's a good blend of everything he does. But yeah, Dogville, this film is so perfect. It's in my favorite films. Essential viewing. Go watch it. And yeah, The Godfather Parts 1 and 2 will be reviewed later today. And that's it. Stay safe, stay quarantined, and have a good day.